A very good morning to all. Today we'll start with a new chapter, that is chapter number 10, and the name of the chapter is Our Government. So in this chapter we'll be discussing about the role of the government, branches of the government and the different levels of the government. Here in page number 85 you can see 4 pictures. In the first picture you can see a rough map of India, which shows that India is a vast country and billion of people live here, and it is very difficult to rule this country by a single person. So we have a government. So it consists of elected leaders. So in the second picture you can see the elected leaders, and these leaders are elected by the citizens of India through a process called election. So people cast their vote for their representatives. Third picture you can see a panchayat. So this is a local self-government in village at local level. So we will be discussing about these levels of government in this chapter. And the fourth picture you can see the judiciary organ of our government, which consists of courts and judges. So here you can see an analytical skill question. The question is, name the current President and Prime Minister of India. Can you tell one thing that is different between them in the context of our country, India? So here you can see that we have Prime Minister and President, and the President usually refers to the head of the country, whereas Prime Minister refers to the leader of the government. So government is a team of elected representatives or leaders who makes laws for our country. So this is the main difference between the President and the Prime Minister. Now let's move on to page number 86. Here you can see a small flow chart. The topic is our government and the subtopics are branches of government and levels of government. So under branches of government we have 3 organs, that is legislature, executive and judiciary. And in levels of government we have central government, state government and local self-government. So the main function of legislature is makes laws. So we will be discussing about these functions in this chapter. Executive function is make sure that the laws are followed, and judiciary means it delivers justice. Now next, the levels of government. Here the first one is central government, and the functions are takes care of national security. So national security means related to the whole nation. And the next function is relation with foreign countries. Foreign countries means other countries other than India, and union territories. Next, the function of state government. So here the few functions are, these are in charge of law and order of that state, transport, health services and so on. Next one, local self-government. So under it comes Gram Panchayat, Municipal Corporation, Municipal Council, Nagar Panchayat. So let's start this lesson. So before discussing about the government, let's discuss about the law. So kids, in our daily life, we are not allowed to do everything that we want to do. We have to follow certain rules. So rules helps us or protects us from harm and danger. It also helps us to keep everything in order so that everyone can live happily together. So the rules for a country are known as laws. Now there are few basic laws like crossing the road on the zebra crossing, wearing seat belt while driving a car. So these are the laws which every citizens have to follow. Next, we'll discuss about the Constitution of India. These laws are written in this Constitution of India. It's a written document which consists of set of rules that guides or that helps a country or a state or any political organization to run in a proper way. It also distributes the powers between the 3 levels of the government, that is central government, state government and the local self-government. So, this is the written document of our country, that is the Constitution of India, and it came into force on 26th January 1950. So, this was about the Constitution of India. Now, we all know that India is a vast country and a single person cannot rule this country. So, we need a team. So, this team of people is known as the government. So, the definition of government is, a government is a group of people that makes laws and manages a country is known as a government. So, it consists of leaders. Now, these leaders are elected by the citizens of India through elections. So, here all the citizens who are 18 years or above have the right to vote. They vote to their representatives and they are elected and they form the government. That's why India is also known as the democratic country, and it has a democratic form of government because we, the citizens of the country, elect the representatives and they form the government. So, this was about the democratic country India. Now, here you can see the functions of the government. The main function of the government is to make laws. Second one is it checks whether the laws are followed by everyone. Next function is it makes sure that these laws are fair and just to all the citizens of the country. And the fourth one is it ensures people get their basic rights. So, these are the few functions of the government. Next, we will see that this government have three organs or three branches. They are legislature, executive and judiciary. So, we will discuss them one by one. So, the first organ is legislature. Now, the main function is to make law. This is also known as Sansad and it consists of elected representatives. So, these representatives are elected by the citizens of India. So, those who are 18 years or above have the right to vote. So, they elect their representatives and they forms the government. So, this is the parliament where the laws are made, and parliament is located in New Delhi. Now, this is the basic structure of legislature. So, here this is the Parliament of India and the head of the parliament is the president of our country, and this parliament has two houses, that is Rajya Sabha, which is also known as the upper house. The next house is the Lok Sabha, which is known as the lower house. So, this was about the legislature. Now, the next organ is executive. Now, its main function is to implement laws. That means it makes sure that these laws are applied and it is followed by all the people of the country. Now, let us see the structure of this executive. So, you can see the head of the executive is the president. Under him comes the vice president, then the prime minister, and under prime minister comes the cabinet of ministers. So, cabinet of ministers are chosen by the prime minister and they are in charge of different ministries and departments. For example, railway department. So, the head of this department is the railway minister and he is responsible for the proper functioning of the railway department of our country. So, this was about the structure of executive. Now, this is the Rashtrapati Bhavan, which is the residence of our president, and it is located in New Delhi. So, we can also say that the constitutional head of the government of India is the president, and our president is Shri Ram Nath Kovind. Now, can you tell who is the vice president of India? Vice president of India is M. Venkaiah Naidu. So, this was about the executive organ. Next organ is the judiciary organ. Now, the main function is that it interprets laws. Interprets means it explains laws and it settles down disputes. It also checks whether the laws are fair and equal to everyone. And if anything is done which is against the violation of the law, then this judiciary corrects it. Another main function is that it also settles disputes between legislature and the executive organ. And it also settles disputes between the central government and the state governments, and also between the different state governments regarding the division of powers. Now, another function is that when people feel that the laws is not effective or that the executive is not fair in doing its job, so in such cases people can go to judiciary to seek justice. So these are the few functions of judiciary organ. Now, this is the basic structure of judiciary organ. At the top is the Supreme Court, then under it comes the High Court, District Court and the lower court. So Chief Justice is the head of the Supreme Court. So this was about the judiciary organ. So in this class we learnt about the three organs of the government, that is legislature, executive and judiciary. That's all for today. We'll meet in the next class. Thank you.